Hi, everybody. Today I'm talking about a common misconception of self-love that INFJs have, and that is perfectionism. Perfectionism, our perfectionism, lots of times, us INFJs, we think of it as loving ourselves, and it really isn't. It actually hacks on our self-love massively, but lots of times we don't know that. And self-love is so important for an INFJ. So important for an INFJ to love themselves, to get to that place of feeling fulfilled, to find their purpose in life, to share their gifts with the world, right? When we love ourselves, we can recognize our gifts, our strengths. It gives us confidence to share it with other people. It gives us confidence to try new things, to take risks. If I hadn't found self-love when I did, because I hated who I was, absolutely hated who I was. I couldn't even look in the mirror. If I wouldn't have learned to love myself, I never would have done these videos. I wouldn't have been on social media. I had a social media account. I never would have posted anything ever. I wouldn't have started a coaching business, my coaching business, coaching INFJs to love themselves, teaching them what I did to find self-love. I thought I was a joke. I couldn't take myself seriously. I didn't think anybody else would take myself seriously. I felt worthless. I absolutely loathed who I was. It was just horrible until I found self-love. That's why I know how important it is. I'm in lots of Facebook groups, INFJ ones, because I like mingling in there. I love meeting other INFJs. Okay, I just absolutely love it. But this is really common that comes up. It's a question asking, how do I love myself? I don't even like who I am. How do I love myself? I see it all the time. And it makes me so sad. It breaks my heart because I know how these people are feeling. I know all too well how they feel without self-love. And once you learn to love yourself, sorry, my basset hound is coming in here and she clicks her nails. So you might be able to hear that. My apologies. Once you love yourself, it's amazing the doors that start opening for you and the direction that your life goes. And perfectionism enables this massively. So this is why I would like to talk about it today, because we think it's a way that we love ourselves, that we can better ourselves with our perfectionism. It's not. Anyway, I better introduce who I am. If we haven't met before, my name's Trina Brentnell. Sorry, I was on a rant there. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I'm so happy that you found me. If you're returning, I'm so glad that you came back. I'm so grateful for you. This is awesome. Alrighty. So perfectionism. You know what? I didn't even know I was a perfectionist. When I was told that, when I found out I was an INFJ, which was, I was almost 40 when I found out. Answered lots of questions about me. That's why I was so weird, but it was so cool. I loved it. I sat up all night giggling. I think I kept my hubby awake all night. Anyway, one thing that came up was that INFJs are perfectionists. And I'm like, oh, I'm not. I'm like a walking disaster. You see my house? I get so focused on one thing that I neglect to house clean. Actually, did you know lots of INFJs don't even like cleaning house? We find it not good use of our time because it's going to get dirty again anyway. So for us to clean house, it's like a huge task. I mean, I do clean house, but I'm a walking disaster. Anyway, that's off topic. I just thought that was neat to share that. I'm like a walking disaster. I am organized, but I wouldn't have said I'm a perfectionist. Like my curtains are crooked, I'm noticing right now. And perfectionist to me wouldn't have that, right? So I didn't really understand what perfectionism was. That is a form of perfectionism, I guess, but that's not all it is. It can show up in many different ways. One way that it shows up with INFJs in particular is INFJs tend to have high standards. We tend to put high standards on ourselves, set those really high goals and push self. We push ourselves forward and think that we can do it. And we can, but sometimes that's not really great because setting high standards and striving for excellence all the time sets ourselves up for failure. When we start having those feelings of failure all the time, it really hacks on our well-being and our self-esteem, and it just snowballs into our self-worth and our self-belief and our self-love, and it all starts dwindling down. We set unrealistic goals and standards for ourselves quite often. We are really bad for this. We do this because we think that it's a way that we value ourselves. Well, I'm good enough. I can do this and set this huge standard up there. And I'm good enough. I can do it. Yep. I believe that you are good enough to do it. However, you've missed all the stepping stones to get there. So you can't go from here and all the way up here. If you can, that's awesome. But chances are you won't. You got to hit those stepping stones going up there, right? And if we don't do that, we fail. And INFJs do not like feelings of failure at all. It will hold us back. Once we get into this, it will really start holding us back. That was me, a fear of failure, because lots of INFJs have past trauma of being told of what they can do, what they can't do. Usually it's what you can't do, right? You can't do this, you can't do that, you're too quiet, you're too weird, blah, blah, blah. The list goes on and on and on. We get that fear of failure coming up, and it's linked to our perfectionism. So it will really, really hold us back. It'll keep us stuck. We'll be too scared to try things for fear of failure. I remember before I found out I was a perfectionist and started working on that, I remember I had so many ideas come up of things I wanted to try. And I'd be like, yes, I'm going to do this. Like, I wanted to be an author. I wanted to write a book. I wanted to write a novel. And I'd be like, yes, I'm going to do this. And that's where it always stayed. Yep, one day I'm going to be an author. I'm going to write a book. Yep, one day I'm going. I never ever started it. Not once. I didn't even open my laptop and start it because I was so scared I was going to fail and prove everybody that told me I was worthless right. That's a form of perfectionism. And it's very, very sad. Anyway, I wrote my novel, just so you know. I did it finally. Got my laptop out and I did it. I wrote it. Got my messy first draft done, and halfway through my second draft, I had to share that. That's off topic. Fear creates chaos inside our nervous system as well. Okay, so we have our perfectionism that leads to fear of failure, not wanting to try anything, not wanting to take risks, right? Walking around scared all the time, that really wreaks havoc on our nervous system, because then we're constantly feeling scared that there's always a threat there, even when there isn't a threat there. And it really holds us back. I remember feeling that, being scared of everything. I used to think that I was even scared of my own shadow. It was horrible. It really was. Anyway, it's not a form of self-love. Our perfectionism, my friends, is not a form of self-love at all. I have a book. It's like book week, because my other video this week, I shared a book too. One of my favorite books. Another video, I said it was my favorite book too. I have lots of favorite books, just so you know. This is Brene Brown. Have you read this book? It's The Gifts of Imperfection. I have markers. I refer back to it lots. I recommend every INFJ read this book. I don't think she's an INFJ, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. She's amazing. Amazing. The Gifts of Imperfection. This book has, I wrote down so I wouldn't forget, so I'm just going to read it. It has 10 guideposts to help us daily, to walk you through. Basically, she holds your hand to walk you through, get better, get over that perfectionism, because it's really hard to conquer. When you're a perfectionist, it's not just that easy to say, you know what, I'm not a perfectionist anymore. It's in your head. It gets into your head, and you need some help with that. It walks us through unattainable and sabotaging expectations that get in the way. I highly recommend it. I am not affiliated with this book at all. So just go to your favorite bookstore and pick it up. It's a great read. Add it to your reading list if you haven't yet, because you won't regret it. I really, really like it. And if you have a book that you really enjoy related to like self-love, self-belief, self-esteem, perfectionism, fear of failure, put it in the comments. Put the author's name and the name of the book so we can help each other out. Books are amazing and they're very, very helpful, and I love helping people out. So if we can help each other out, that'll be awesome. I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you for sticking with me this long. If it was, I invite you to give me the thumbs up. Feel free to share this video. The more shares we get, the more INFJs we can reach, the more we can help. And then the more amazing INFJs we get to see. They'll start sharing their gifts, and the world really needs it, because we are magnificent, amazing people, and we really need to be seen more. and subscribe to my channel if it feels right. Until then, go out. Don't be a perfectionist. Done is better than perfect. Remember that. Done's better than perfect. If you fail, look at it as a way of learning. Oh, well, I failed, but what did I learn from this? It's not complete failure because I learned something. What was my takeaway? Anyway, that's my tidbit for today. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye for now.